Listen.
So I mentioned that I don't use a laptop, carry that. I try to limit it on that device. So I experiment with this thing. It's called Samsung DeX. Just connect it and you actually can use the smartphone as a PC. Since I just need a browser, definitely enough. You can do some stuff. Let's just start. What do you think is the biggest hindrance in Germany why digital transformation is further behind than in other countries? Is it further behind? I wouldn't necessarily say that it's so far behind. It's more the question of like how consequent it is done. In Germany, and it's typical for Germany, this not invented here thing. So whenever it's not from us, we think we have a better solution we can do ourselves. But don't forget, going back in history, the example from Ferdinand Porsche, who didn't invent the mass production of the car, but he looked it up from Henry Ford, who did that. And he brought that back to Germany. And that's how he grew Volkswagen into a fairly large car manufacturer. So learn from other countries and don't have this not invented here thing. How to kill email in a company and use Teams collaboration in an old school managed company. Why would you want to kill email? I mean, you don't want to kill email for the sake of email. Of course, I often mention the email as a bad example and so on, but it's just because it's not used in the right way. You could teach them how to use email properly. Let's say you have shared folders for certain projects. You put more people in CC, and if you take them off CC, you give a short notice. There are many ways. If you really want to leverage Teams, you should give the people a reason why you want to do that. And that's the biggest part. How would you recommend small businesses back up their cloud data? This is just from our experience and how I decided as a managing director in my last company and this company. If we have a cloud tool running, we want to make sure that by pressing one button that we can recover the whole account. And if you, like, let's say, download the data for a backup, which some companies want to do because they have the feeling they own the data and they have it then, I think you slow down the process of doing that. What we do is we use one cloud, so in our case the Google Cloud, and we pull a backup in the Amazon Cloud. So we have like both of these large cloud accounts, and I'm always saying if these two are not working anymore, we most likely have a bigger issue. So we use cloud-to-cloud backup for our data. And in our case, it's tools like Backupify from Datu, but there are also other ones. You just Google cloud-to-cloud backup. How relevant is a bachelor's degree for an entrepreneur nowadays, considering most startups fail, but also the opportunities, skills and knowledge you can gain by pursuing ambitious goals? I think the most important thing is not the degree, but more important for me personally was the network around it. So I went to a university in Switzerland, St. Gallen, where we have a great network of people. And the longer you are there, the more you can network. But I tried to do that with, let's say, the extra activity around studying. So this is how I built the network. So that's why I would say the bachelor's degree itself is not that important, but what you do with that and how you like meet people, I think. How could I convince an old-fashioned style thinking business running an on-premise data center and convince them to be forward-thinking and switch them to the cloud? Find the reason why. Like, don't argue with this is a good feature and that's a great feature. Give them the whole purpose. And if security is one of the purposes they are driven by, then the argument is very clear that it's more secure to store that in the cloud. If productivity is a thing they care about, then of course you can say it's far easier to like run certain apps on the cloud infrastructure that make you more productive. So there are many ways, but the core question is why do you want to do that? So what's the driver? And then you can build the arguments on that. I think many companies will have to do it, especially in the EU, because from May starting on with a new GDPR, General Data Privacy Regulation. GDPR. I have to know that in English. I do it in German all the time. But anyhow, you need a state-of-the-art infrastructure. To maintain that on-premise infrastructure is far more expensive and quite difficult. Thanks for asking these questions. They keep challenging me, so continue to ask more of these questions and we keep continuing this series here. So subscribe below and ask more questions. Thanks. And now I gotta run for Fischstäbchen. You guys know what Fischstäbchen are? I mean, homemade what are they? Fish
Fish fingers.
Fish fingers, that's what they call in English, fish fingers. Homemade. Around the corner. That's what we're going to do now.